Namaskar and welcome to Midday Prime. Today is Holi, the festival of colors. So here's wishing all of you a happy Holi filled with every color of the rainbow and with every significance, tradition and blessing associated with this festival, which is celebrated across India as well as many parts of the world. Let's begin with the big news at this hour. Holi, the festival of colors, is being celebrated today. Images of different colors and revelry of Holi are emerging from different parts of the country. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet the nation on the occasion. The US Vice President Kamala Harris also extends greetings on Holi. Campaigning reaches its peak in the 5 poll-bound states. The Union Minister and BJP leader Piyush Goel slams the Kerala government, says politics of nepotism, corruption, communalism and appeasement is taking place in Kerala for the past several decades, while in West Bengal TMC chief Mamta Banerjee holds a roadshow in her assembly constituency of Nandigram. Big success for the security forces in Maharashtra's Gadchiroli district. 5 Maoists killed in an encounter. Total vaccination coverage surpasses 6 crore. 8 states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Chhattisgarh have reported high numbers of COVID-19 daily new cases. 84% new cases reported in 8 states. Maharashtra reports more than 40,000 new cases. The stranded container ship on the Suez Canal is freed from the shoreline. The world heaves a sigh of relief. Killing of more than 100 anti-coup protesters in Myanmar has drawn global outrage. Defense ministers of 12 nations condemn military violence in Myanmar. The US President Joe Biden says the situation in Myanmar is absolutely outrageous after security forces opened fire at a funeral on Sunday. Lewis Hamilton, chasing a record 8th title, wins the Formula One season opener in Bahrain. 23-race F1 season action resumes after a 3-week break before the next Grand Prix in Imola. India makes a clean sweep in all 3 formats of cricket against England at home and pockets the one-day series 2-1. Johnny Bairstow is the man of the series. England lose 6 successive ODI series on Indian soil. So let's begin with the big story at this hour. Well, the big story is the festival of Holi, the festival of colors. It's being celebrated throughout the country today. The festival is celebrated in the month of March, which is not only bringing cheer to people, but it also brings new lease of life to plants, to animals. Holi marks the onset of spring, and the festival's zeal remains high in Punjab's Amritsar. People are celebrating Holi with full enthusiasm, as we can see in these visuals. Of course, with COVID protocols in place as well. Amid the rising cases of COVID-19, the Odisha government has restricted Holi celebrations in the state, anticipating that the festival has the potential to cause the virus to spread. Processions, public functions, they were completely restricted as per the standard operating procedure issued by the state government. Mostly roads there are wearing a deserted look as people are busy celebrating the occasion, but at home with their family. And President Ramnath Kovind today extended his wishes to the people of India on the auspicious occasion of Holi. In a tweet, the President said, and I quote, "Greetings to all fellow citizens on Holi. The festival of colors, Holi, is a festival of social harmony, which brings about joy, delight and hope in the lives of people. May this festival further strengthen the spirit of nationalism, which is integral to our cultural diversity." Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also wished citizens of India on the auspicious occasion of Holi. The Vice President urged all to take precautions and maintain COVID-19 protocols while celebrating the festival of colour. He said, "My heartiest greetings to all the citizens of the country on the auspicious occasion of Holi today. The festival of colours, Holi, is celebrated with great fervour and zeal across the country. In view of the prevailing pandemic, I would like to urge people to take all precautions and maintain COVID-19 protocols while celebrating Holi. May this festival bring happiness, good health and prosperity in our lives." Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended Holi greetings to countrymen. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said, "Greetings to all on Holi, the festival of happiness, joy and bliss. May bring new vigour and energy into everyone's lives." The Union Home Minister Amit Shah greeted the entire nation on the occasion of Holi. In a tweet in Hindi, the minister wrote, and I quote, "Hearty greetings to all the countrymen on the auspicious occasion of Holi. This great festival of colour, unity and goodwill brings happiness, peace and good luck to all of you." And the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also extended his greetings to the people of the country on Holi. And the minister wrote, and I quote, "Greetings to everyone on the occasion of Holi. May this festival of colours bless you with happiness, health and prosperity." The Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar also extended his wishes on the occasion of Holi. In his message on Twitter, the minister said, "Wishing you all a very happy Holi. May the festival be filled with colour, zeal, joy and gaiety." And devotees offered prayers at the Mahakaleshwar temple in Ujjain on the occasion of Holi today. And devotees also celebrated Holi with flowers in Varanasi. Well, the Festival of Colours was also celebrated in Nepal, at the Nepal Embassy in Delhi. In fact, Nepal's ambassador to India, Nilambar Acharya, hoped that relations between the two countries continues to grow further. And he said that both countries share similar culture, tradition and values, which are an important aspect of the relationship between the two countries.
हम सभी को होली का मुबारक कहते हैं। ये संस्कृति जो है नेपाल और भारत को संस्कृति ने भी जोड़ रखा है। हम लोग का बहुत नज़दीकी संबंध है। हम सब भारतीय मित्रों को अपना प्यार, अपना मित्रता, अपनी शुभकामनाएं देते हैं। सब अच्छा हो और नेपाल भारत का संबंध भी और आगे बढ़े, मजबूत बने। हम लोग बहुत नज़दीक के दोस्त हैं। हमारे उत्सव, चार, संस्कृति में बहुत सामिप्य है।
Vice President of the United States Kamala Harris extended Holi greetings. In a tweet, she said, "Happy Holi. Holi is best known for vibrant colors that are tossed at friends and loved ones. Full of joy, Holi is all about positivity, setting aside our differences and coming together. A message that's been embodied by communities across the world during these tough times." And the U.S. Department of State extended Holi greetings. The State Department said, the happy Holi. We wish all of those who are celebrating a happy and colorful time filled with love and peace. May this time bring you all goodness and prosperity. So moving on then to our next story. Well, India has registered a significant achievement in its fight against COVID-19. The country's total vaccination coverage has surpassed 6 crore, more than 6.05 crore. That is 6 crore and 50,30,435 to be exact vaccine doses have been administered through 9,92,483 sessions as per the provisional report till 7 in the morning on Monday. So meanwhile, 8 states, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Punjab, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Chhattisgarh have reported high numbers of COVID daily cases. 84.5% of the new cases are reported from these 8 states. 68,020 cases were registered in the last 24 hours. Maharashtra has reported the highest daily new cases at 40,414. It's followed by Karnataka with 3,082. Punjab has 2,870 new cases. And in Maharashtra, due to the rapid increase in the number of COVID cases in the state, beds and other facilities are becoming inadequate. The Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, Maharashtra Health Minister Dr. Rajesh Tope, the Chief Secretary Sitaram Kunte, the task force doctors as well as senior officials, they took stock of the COVID situation. The Chief Minister said that visitors should be prohibited from entering into the Secretariat and other semi-government offices. Meanwhile, if the private establishments are not adhering to the 50% attendance rule, the state administration should prepare a plan for imposing lockdown. Chief Minister has directed the Chief Secretary to plan for the supply of food grains, medicines, essential supplies and medical facilities. Over 40,414 new cases were reported in the past 24 hours. The case fatality rate in the state is 2%. So Shama Mishra now joins us with Mumbai on the COVID-19 update as well as Holi celebrations. Well, obviously, Shama, it's a subdued Holi in Maharashtra given the number of cases that are on the rise there. So put this into context for us. How is Holi being celebrated and the measures being taken by the government to prevent the spread of COVID?
Well, the Holi is celebrated over here, but this year it is being celebrated and the mood is a little damp mood. The celebrations are dampened because of the fact that the state government has issued the notification and the BMC has also issued the instructions that Holi celebrations, both in private and public, will not be done. So anybody wanting to organize a party or a large number of gathering cannot do so because of the rising COVID number, and that is why we are seeing the people who are celebrating it. They are having it in their homes, having it with their close family members, and that is the way how Mumbai and rest of Maharashtra is celebrating Holi this year. That said, we already saw that 40,414 number of cases, positive cases in Maharashtra. This is the highest, and this is an alarming situation over here. And that is why yesterday we saw a notification from the state government that after taking stock of the entire situation, Chief Minister has issued these instructions to the officials that if people continue to not adhere to the restrictions, not listen to all the notifications that are being told to them, then get ready for another lockdown. So if a situation worsens, because every day we are seeing 35,000 cases, 36,000 cases, and yesterday we saw 40,000 cases. So if the situation worsens, we'll definitely be going into another lockdown. Also because of the fact that all the medical facilities, including the beds, ventilators, oxygen facilities with beds, they are getting severely under pressure, and in those areas where a lot of medical facilities are not available, we are already seeing pictures coming out where people, the COVID positive patients, have to share the beds because there are beds which is not available to all the people. So
That's
yes,
a very sad
Mumbai
situation
currently,
indeed.
or the municipal corporations are in a right. Municipal corporations are still in a better situation, but Mumbai is also registering close to 7,000 cases daily, and if this continues, the day would not be far when the medical facilities here in Mumbai also will be severely under pressure, and that is why the lockdown would be an answer to that. Already we are seeing since yesterday Maharashtra, the entire state is under night curfew, and shops, other establishments have been told that after 8 p.m. everything will be shut. People will not be roaming outside unnecessarily. If they have the work of medical necessity or emergency, only then they can go out. Otherwise 8 p.m. till 7 a.m. every day there will be a night curfew, and this is just a test and trial method how we can contain the spread of the virus, and if this doesn't give an answer, then lockdown would surely be another way to stop the spread of the virus.
Right, so 7,000 cases in Mumbai itself, and 40,000 plus cases in the whole of Maharashtra, and Maharashtra looking at the possible lockdown. How are the people, responding? Because, people have been showing visuals also where people are actually not following the COVID appropriate behavior, and that is the reason for the spread of the virus. So, I mean, perhaps it is the government's responsibility, if the people are not doing it on their own, to impose a lockdown. I mean, there would be a constituency of people who say, we need to be protected from this virus, government has to take action. Is that the condition there?
Well, yes, most of the people over here, if we are talking about the crowded spaces, then if you see, most people are not wearing their masks properly. Even if they are wearing it below their nose, below their chin, and they actually have let their guards down because of the fact that they are now having this thing in their mind that the whole, whole year has gone by. The pandemic situation is close to over, and vaccination drive has also begun. So that is why they have become careless. But yes, like you've mentioned that it is the government's responsibility, and the government is rightly doing so. BMC and other places also, other districts also, the districts have launched their marshals where these people in groups would be going to keep a check on people if they're wearing the masks or not. And if they are found, not wearing it properly, then they are fined anywhere from 200 to 1,000. Even the places where they are, flouting of the norms of the COVID appropriate behavior, there are fines. And we also saw that Mumbai, in most of the crowded places, including the malls, cinema theatres, cow gullies of hawkers, rapid antigen tests are being conducted to keep a check on the spread of the COVID cases, so that from there you can trace the fact that if one person is found positive, then their contacts are also found, and this way we can stop the spread of the virus.
Indeed, Shama, one last question about the numbers that are being reported of new cases. How many of them are symptomatic? I mean, because perhaps the virus has now become endemic in Maharashtra, as maybe in other parts of the country as well. So, I mean, it's difficult to stop it, but, I mean, are people showing symptoms, or are they really people who are just carrying the virus without knowing it?
Yes, most of the cases in Mumbai or elsewhere also, we are seeing that people are asymptomatic, and this is the reason why the danger of spreading is more. People are not having those symptoms, and that is why they are not going to get themselves tested. Even if they are having some mild symptoms, they are ignoring it, and by the time these are of other places as well. By the time they are having some severe symptoms, it is too late for the entire treatment to begin, and that is the reason why there are fatalities in Maharashtra close to anywhere from 99 to 112, 115. These are the number of fatalities that we are seeing each day in Maharashtra, and this is the reason people are reporting it late, and that is why it becomes difficult for the treatment to begin and treatment to happen properly.
Thanks very much, Shama Mishra, for those inputs. Moving on then to our next story, focusing the aim on providing vaccines to the Neighborhood First policy. 100,000 doses of Made in India COVID-19 vaccine were gifted by the Indian Army to the Nepalese Army. And the vaccines were received at Tribhuvan Airport. This happened on Sunday. Indian Army gifting vaccines to the Nepalese Army. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamta Banerjee has held a road show from Kudiram and This is to Thakur Chowk in Nandigram. Mamta Banerjee is contesting from Nandigram constituency for the West Bengal elections. Giving you election-related news now. BJP leader Locket Chattopadhyay held an election campaign through a boat in Hooghly. Locket Chattopadhyay is one of the prominent female faces leading the election in West Bengal in the ongoing assembly elections there. And the BJP General Secretary Kailash Vijayvargiya exuded confidence that the BJP will get a total of 30 seats in the upcoming polls. He also slammed the TMC for spreading violence in the state.
मुझे लगता है कि अगर सीट्स भी जीत जाएंगे तो मुझे आश्चर्य नहीं होगा, क्योंकि जिस प्रकार से टीएमसी के गुंडे पोलिंग बूथ पे कब्जा नहीं कर पाए, फर्जी पोलिंग नहीं कर पाए, जनता ने अपनी स्वेच्छा से मत दिया है, तो जनता का मत तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को ही मिलेगा और इसलिए गुंडे इस बार सफल नहीं हो पाए। मैं चुनाव आयोग को धन्यवाद देता हूँ। ये टीएमसी का आखिरी हथियार है। जब दिया बुझता है तो थोड़ा सा भभकता है और इसलिए मैं मान के चलता हूँ कि ये बंगाल के इतिहास की आखिरी हिंसा होगी। 2 मई के बाद हिंसा की राजनीति समाप्त हो जाएगी। सारी हिंसा ये सब 2 मई तक रहेगी। 2 मई के बाद हिंसा की राजनीति समाप्त हो जाएगी।
He was referring to 30 seats in that phase itself. And moving on then, in Chennai, AIADMK leader TKM Chinnayan held an election rally in Tambaram constituency. He also undertook several other activities as a part of the election campaigning. And campaigning is in full swing in Kerala ahead of the assembly elections next month. Senior BJP leader Piyush Goel held a road show in Kochi in Kerala. The state of Kerala is going to the polls on the 6th of April, while the counting will take place on the 2nd of May. And the senior BJP leader slammed Congress and Communist Party and said that the people of Kerala are poised for change. He also said that people of Kerala are fed up with the corrupt practices of both these parties. And Piyush Goel also...
People of Kerala are tired of corruption. The people of Kerala are tired of failure and the misgovernance of both Congress and the Communists. They want development, they want progress, they want jobs for their young boys and girls. They want to see tourism grow, they want to see IT sector grow. And Kerala has such big potential. I think Kerala is poised for change. They deserve change.
And the Union Minister Piyush Goel addressed a press conference in Kerala and talking about the development projects in Kerala. He slammed the opposition, and Piyush Goel said that for the last few decades, Kerala has struggled with nepotism, corruption, communalism, appeasement politics, mismanagement, and even murder. And the people of Kerala gave both the Congress-led UDF and the Communist-led LDF an opportunity to serve.
God's own country is suffering from nepotism, is suffering from corruption, is suffering from communalism and politics of appeasement, is suffering from total mismanagement and murder. In fact, the people of Kerala have given both the Congress-led UDF and the Communist-led LDF opportunity to serve them alternately from time to time. But sadly, instead of serving the people of Kerala, they have only exploited this beautiful state.
So Piyush Goel also said that about 65,000 crores have been allocated for the national highway projects that include 600 kilometers of the Mumbai-Kanyakumari highway.
The Modi government has allocated 65,000 crores for the national highway works in the state of Kerala, which includes 600 kilometers of the Mumbai-Kanyakumari corridor. For the Kochi metro project covering 11.5 kilometers, 1,957 crores has been approved for phase 2, and significant investments in the development of the Kochi fishing harbour will be undertaken, which we believe will transform the fishing sector and make this the center of economic activity and export to benefit large number of fishermen in Kerala.
Piyush Goel further said that the Narendra Modi government has been working for the people of Kerala. The central government has allocated 903 crores per year for the development projects in Kerala. He also said that in 2.5 years, the entire Kerala railways will be electrified.
Today, I am happy to share with you that between 2014 and 20, in the last 6 years, the government led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi at an average sanctioned, allotted 903 crore per year for projects which would benefit Kerala. Almost 2.5-3 times. Electrification is going on of the entire railway network in a big way, and another 2.5 years, entire Kerala railways will be 100% electrified.
The Union Minister also mentioned about a double-engine government, and he said that if the BJP comes to power in the state, the progress rate of the state will move ahead at a very fast pace, just like a train runs faster on double engines.
If we have a government led by the BJP in the state of Kerala, we will have the double engine of progress. Just like a train with double engine, with 2 engines, goes very, very fast. If we have a government led by BJP in Kerala, you will have 2 engines powering the development, prosperity and better future for the young boys and girls of Kerala, for the people of Kerala. With good governance and good intention to transform from the hub of corruption to the hub of development.
BJP leader Giriraj Singh hit out at the state government over development projects, and the BJP leader stated that he was informed about commissions over several projects in Kerala. Speaking in Thiruvananthapuram, he said that the Kerala government is a commission government.
केरल की सरकार डेफिसिट सरकार, सब लोग जानते हैं। अकेले 5 साल में ऐसे ये 3 लाख करोड़ की डेफिसिट में लोन है। हर बच्चा पैदा लेता केरल कर्ज में पैदा लेता। केरल की सरकार कमीशन मनी पे चलता, गुंडागर्दी पे चलता। कोई प्रोजेक्ट तब तक सफल नहीं होता, लोगों ने बताया, कि जब तक यहाँ कमीशन न दिया जाए।
Well, Ravi Dhaman now joins us from Puducherry with an update from on the assembly elections there in the Union Territory of Puducherry. Well, Ravi, the elections are taking place there after President's rule was imposed because the incumbent had lost majority. So that adds a new significance to this election in Puducherry. Put it in context for us, because people have been leaving one party, joining another. There's sort of realignment taking place.
That's true, Mark. You have correctly put it this way. Puducherry is right now standing at crossroads of a political journey. It has not yet transversed so far, and that is of coalition politics. As you said, the incumbent government of V. Narayanasamy of the Congress fell down on its own after 6 MLAs quit the party, and of these 6 MLAs, 2 later joined the BJP. The BJP is in a buoyant mood considerably because of the development of past few months, and it feels that it has a golden chance to gain a considerable foothold in Puducherry, in the Puducherry politics. The BJP has tied up with All India NRC, which is headed by the former Chief Minister N. Rangasamy, who incidentally was also who is also a former congressman, and he floated his own party. He has been Chief Minister 3 times in this union territory of Puducherry. BJP has tied up with him and is going along with other allies like VCK and CPM in Puducherry. So the party is quite hopeful that this time around, the BJP has no elected MLA in Puducherry Assembly so far. The party is quite confident that it will hit the nail on the head this time around and romp home in many constituencies. It is fighting in 9 constituencies here in Puducherry out of 15. And certainly, as you said it's a very interesting time and very crucial time for Puducherry politics. It is, we can say, embracing slowly and surely the coalition politics, and the coming time when the results will be announced, we'll have to see which way the Puducherry politics go. But coalition politics is surely here to stay.
Indeed, Ravi, and also because, you know, it's a keenly contested election, there have been some instances where, you know, people have gone to the courts, and I think that the court is even, you know, questioning whether the election can be held on the appropriate day. So, I mean, is that still you know, an area of contention? I mean, all the elections are slated as we speak for April the 6th.
Well, right now the election are on schedule. The beg your pardon, the Madras High Court has not put a break on the elections. It has raised questions whether to the Election Commission and to the parties. And the BJP leaders here are quite confident that all the allegations that have been thrown at them, they carry no weight, and they will be able to prove their part of the bargain in the courts. It will be interesting to see what the courts finally decide. But as of now, the campaigning and everything else is going on in Puducherry in a normal course, as it would have on an election in an election month, and all the leaders of all the parties are busy campaigning. Trying to woo voters. But this is an important aspect that you have touched, Mark. It will be decided in the courts, and if the courts feel otherwise, then it will be another crucial moment for Puducherry in its political history.
Right. Thanks very much, Ravi, for, you know, putting that into context for us. And from Puducherry, we are now going to move across to Guwahati, and our correspondent Vishal Barristow is joining us. He's going to be joining us from Guwahati in just a moment. In fact, there he is. Vishal Barristow is joining us from Guwahati, Assam, telling us about the mood of the elections over there. Vishal, NRC, you know, illegal migrant issue, is that important in this election too?
Absolutely. Very good afternoon to you, Mark. You should not forget that CAA is the bigger issue, and Congress also has announced in its manifesto that if it's voted to power, then it would do away with CAA, while for BJP CAA and NRC are the 2 major issues, and they have said that they will implement both. And right now I'm standing at the Bashist Charali area of Guwahati. Today is Holi, and people are enjoying Holi. Now this is the place where you have a lot of people playing with colors and all. So along with elections, you have a different Holi here. Rather, you would say Holi Chunav ke rang ke saath, as they say in Hindi.
Yes.
So it is quite interesting. The battle is obviously between the 2 national parties, but the BJP, as far as the first round is concerned, they are very much confident, and they have said that they have already done very well, and there is no fear of anti-incumbency, though they have not announced that ministerial candidate, but so is Congress party. Gaurav Gogoi was expected to be announced by the party. The Congress party hasn't done so far. So it's an interesting battle. Now 2 more presidents to go. One on the 1st of this next month, and then you have the 6th, which is the last 39 plus 40. So around 17, total 79 seats would be there up for grab between the 2 parties. And Amit Shah, the Home Minister of the country, would be campaigning for BJP, and along with him, the Prime Minister. So they are having 2 rallies back to back in Bijini, which will be voting for the 3rd phase of election. So CA, as it is popularly known, CAA, is a very big issue not only for BJP but also for the Congress party. Mark?
Yes, indeed, Vishal. And you know, when we talk about Assam being such a big state in the northeast, you know, the parties have been using the word engines, you know, for growth. Assam will be, you know, like an engine of growth for the entire northeast region. So it's a crucial election from the development point of view as well for Assam. You know, what have the parties been saying as far as development of the region is concerned?
Well, when we talk about Northeast, certainly Assam is the gateway to Northeast, and it is from here that we can see the road ahead to Southeast Asia. And Prime Minister for a very long time has been focusing on Look East policy. So they have the government in Meghalaya, they have along with NPP, also they have it in Nagaland, that both are in alliance. Then they have absolute majority in Tripura. They also have in Manipur. So they do not. They would certainly like to hold on with Assam, where they already had the last term. So it is going to be a very, very interesting move. But as far as the campaigning is concerned, while we are having stalwarts like Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself, and along with Amit Shah, Prime Minister again visiting Assam. I mean, if we talk about the Congress party, Sachin Pilot was here. Now, if we talk about Sachin Pilot, he has had a tough fight with Ashok Gehlot, Chief Minister in Rajasthan, with Congress almost losing the majority because of the adventures of Sachin Pilot.
Yes,
when Sachin Pilot comes to Assam and says that we want to, we are not fighting for winning the election, but we want to save you from the misrule of the BJP. Now, this is a very, you know, a very different statement, or rather a amusing statement, because you are not contesting election for winning it, but you are trying to stop BJP somehow. So it is, I mean, when it comes to campaigning, that BJP has taken a lead way ahead than Congress party. But obviously there are 2 more legs to go, 1st and 6th, as I told you. So let's see how the electorate responds to the Congress party, which has promised 5 lakh jobs in 5 years, and also not implement CAA, while BJP is very much vocal about CAA and NRC. Mark?
Thanks very much, Vishal Barrister, for those inputs. Moving on then to our next story. Well, Rajasthan's Marwari culture has played an important role in strengthening of the economy and the social fabric of Assam. With the election fever high in Assam, this is how Holi was celebrated in Marwari style in Assam.
राजस्थान में प्रसिद्ध है, तो हम उस गिंदड़ नृत्य के साथ साथ डांसिंग करते हैं और चक और धमाल उधर की मतलब लोगों को नेचुरल में एकदम जो संस्कृति है राजस्थान की उसमें पहुंचा देती है। तो हम जो यहाँ पे राजस्थान की संस्कृति बिखेरते हैं उनमें सबको लोगों के एक साथ में लेकर राजस्थान की मतलब मिट्टी की याद दिलाते थे।
होली में हम यही कामना करते हैं कि जो कोरोना का बदरंग छाया हुआ है, बदहाली का बदरंग छाया हुआ है, वो सारे उड़ जाए और विकास और प्रगति का रंग हमारी ज़िंदगी में छा जाए, खुशहाली सबकी ज़िंदगी में आ जाए।
Well, the India Meteorological Department has forecast heavy rains in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram over the next 5 days. Heavy rains will lash the state till the 2nd of April. Heavy rain may lead to localized landslides, mudslides, localized flooding of roads and waterlogging in low-lying areas at some places in South Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. The Weather Department has cautioned people to remain indoors and avoid travel. It's also advised people to suspend farming operations during the extreme weather time that we are going to be experiencing. Well, there's good success, in fact, for the security forces in Gadchiroli. At least 5 Maoists, including 2 women, were gunned down in an exchange of fire with police. This happened in the Kurkheda Tehsil in Gadchiroli district of Maharashtra, bordering Chhattisgarh, nearly 350 kilometers from Nagpur. This happened on a Monday morning. And Shishir now joins us with more on the story. Well, Shishir, tell us a little bit first about, give us more updates about this particular incident and the success for the security forces.
Well, absolutely, Mark. If you look at this news here, what we got in the morning is that this encounter took place in Gadchiroli region where 5 Naxalis have been gunned down by our C-60 commandos and the security forces here. Well, this kind of encounter was happening since yesterday. Yesterday, it was the police official said that 3 times the encounter happened between the security forces and the Naxals in the entire day here. Well, if you look at the background of the entire incident, there has been the northern region of the Gadchiroli and the southern region of the Gadchiroli. Well, the Naxalis have been observing the Naxal week in this entire region, and that's the reason they have placed banners into the southern region of the Gadchiroli here. As soon as the security forces got this information, they swung into action and have started the combing operation and searching operation in the southern region of the Gadchiroli. But meanwhile, we've also got the news that the Naxalites have moved to the northern side of the Gadchiroli and they have opened fire on the security forces. Well, the 660 commandos were also deployed on the northern region of this entire area where Kurkheda and the Cobra Menda forest area have been situated here. As soon as the security forces opened fire, the Naxalis have also retaliated on the same time here. Well, but later on for the entire day, as I told you, that between 3 encounters, the police forces have started increasing their force in the entire region. Ultimately, they backed up and ran into the dense forest of Cobra Menda forest region in the northern region of the Gadchiroli.
Yes, indeed. So, Shishir, it looks like, because the number of cases of COVID are also going up in the state of Maharashtra, maybe, perhaps the Naxals looked at this as an opportunity where, perhaps the people are letting their guard down. The state, the machinery is likely to be less or little lax at this time. But that's not quite the case, isn't it? This is what this kind of an operation actually explains.
Absolutely, it seems like a pre-planned operation from the Naxalite, because as I told you that they have started placing banners on the other side of the Gadchiroli region, the southern side, but they actually opened fire on the northern region of the Gadchiroli. It shows that most of the Naxalites have already made a plan about it, and that's the reason they have opened a fire. Nearly 60 to 70 Naxalites opened a fire on the C-60 commandos who were present on their duties in this entire region here. As soon as the police and the security forces got the news, they have again reinforced the entire police force and security personnel there. Ultimately, Naxalites have backed off. The police have also recovered many things from the sites, from the Naxalites, and now currently the searching operation, the combing operation is going on.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Shishir Shelar, for joining us with those inputs from Mumbai. Moving on then to our next story. Well, Jammu and Kashmir Special Police Officer martyred and a councillor has been killed in a terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir Sopore district. The injured were shifted to hospital. The civilian has been referred to Srinagar for specialized treatment. The area has been cordoned off. You're watching Midday Prime now. It's time for news and updates from the world of business. And my colleague Tanvi joins us with all those updates. Over to you, Tanvi.
Thank you, Mark. First of all, wishing all our viewers a very happy Holi. The National Stock Exchange of India and the Bombay Stock Exchange are closed today on account of Holi. Similarly, the domestic bullion market and the forex market are also shut today. But elsewhere in Asia, stocks rose. Japan's Nikkei share average gained 0.7% on optimism about domestic corporate earnings and an economic recovery in the US. But concerns about a potential $2 billion loss flagged by brokerage firm Nomura Holdings limited gains. Chinese blue chips rose 0.8%, while MSCI's Broad-X Index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan added 0.3%. Good news coming from the Suez Canal. The huge container ship that had been stuck across the Suez Canal for almost a week has been freed from the shoreline. The Ever Given giant container ship has been blocking one of the world's busiest trade routes, forcing companies to reroute ships and causing long tailbacks. The reports that the ship had been freed raised hopes that traffic along the canal could resume within hours, clearing the way for an estimated $9.6 billion of goods that is being held up every day. Meanwhile, news of the ship's movement immediately sent oil prices sharply lower. Global crude oil prices slumped more than 2% today. Brent crude oil was down $1.38 or 2.1% to $63.19 a barrel. US crude fell $1.48 or 2.4% to $59.49 a barrel. As of now, hundreds of container ships and bulk carriers and oil-laden tankers remain backed up at both ends of the Suez Canal. Oil prices have swung wildly in the last few days as traders and investors try to weigh the impact of the blockage of a key trade transit point and the broader effect of lockdowns to stop coronavirus infections. That's it in Business Prime for now. Over to you, Mark.
Well, thanks very much, Tanvi. And now let's tell you what's happening across the world. Well, the killing of more than 90 anti-coup protesters in Myanmar has drawn global outrage. Defense ministers of 12 countries have condemned the military of Myanmar. The US accused the security forces of a reign of terror, the deadliest day since last month's coup. Today, funerals were held with some reports that the military had tried to intervene in the morning, and more than 400 people have so far been killed in the suppression of protests in Myanmar since the 1st of February on the day of the coup. Well, the military had seized control of the Southeast Asian country after an election which Aung San Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy party had won by a landslide. The defense chiefs of a dozen nations, including the UK, issued a rare joint statement condemning the military violence, and the US, Japan and Australia were also among the signatories of the statement. The US said that it is horrified by the killings. Well, US President Joe Biden said that the situation in Myanmar was absolutely outrageous after security forces opened fire at a funeral on Sunday. Mourners fled the shooting at a service for 20-year-old student Thia Mong in Bago, near the commercial capital Yangon, and there were no immediate reports of casualties. Moving on then, in Mozambique, dozens of people were killed in an attack last week on the northern Mozambique town of Palma. A defense and security forces spokesperson on Sunday told reporters that 7 people were killed when their convoy of cars was ambushed as they tried to escape. Hundreds of other people, both locals and foreigners, have been rescued from the town located near gas projects worth $60 billion. Let's take a look at an update on COVID-19 from across the world. Over 12 crore 77 lakh people worldwide have contracted the COVID-19 disease, while more than 10 crore 29 lakh people have recovered from it. So far, the death toll from the virus stands at above 27 lakh 95,000 globally. The US remains the worst hit country from COVID-19, and the number of cases there crossing 3 crore 9 lakh. The country has seen over 5 lakh 62,000 fatalities from COVID-19, followed by Brazil, which has more than 3 lakh 12,000 lives lost because of COVID. Australian authorities they have announced a straight 3-day COVID-19 lockdown in the northern city of Brisbane from Monday afternoon. The lockdown has been imposed in an attempt to stamp out an outbreak of the virulent UK variant of the virus. As of today, 7 cases of the UK variant have been reported in Brisbane. The first case in a new cluster was reported on Friday, and people will only be allowed to step out for essential work, healthcare, groceries, shopping or exercise. The lockdown in Brisbane is currently scheduled to end just before the Easter long weekend and school term break in Australia, a popular time for people to travel. And now it's time for news from the world of sports. And for all the sports news, here's Deepika. Over to you, Deepika.
Thank you so much, Mark. And let's take a quick look at all the sporting updates. And starting from cricket, in a game where the pendulum swung to and fro, men in blue held their nerve to seal a humdinger game against England by 7 runs in the third ODI and final in the Pune. Sam Curran played a heroic unbeaten hand of 95, but the visitors fell short by a 7-run to lose the series by 1-2. And Lewis Hamilton's quest for an 8th world title gets off to the perfect start, held off Max Verstappen's late charge to win a scintillating Bahrain Grand Prix in fabulous style. Verstappen actually took the lead from Hamilton with 4 laps to go, but handed the position back because he had overtaken by running off the track. The move cost the Red Bull driver the victory. Verstappen never quite got close enough again to challenge Hamilton. It was a remarkable climax to a tense and thrilling strategic battle that bodes well for an epic season between the two men. Mercedes' Valtteri Bottas finished third. And in football, Harry Kane's outstanding header helped England beat Albania 2-0 to continue their 100% winning start to the World Cup 2022 qualifying campaign. Gareth Southgate's side had been cheapened before Kane produced a rare moment of quality to direct Luke Shaw's cross into the far corner of the net. Kane hit the bar from close range before Etred Berisha denied Phil Foden by pushing his shot onto the post. Mason Mount doubled the lead with a composed finish after a pass by Kane. And Ousmane Dembele inspired France to a 2-0 victory over Kazakhstan in their second World Cup qualifier to mark a successful return to the world champions team. 4 days after being held 1-1 by Ukraine at the Stade de France, the French peeled their win in the first half with Serge Mali's own goal adding to Dembele's opener before Kylian Mbappe missed a second half penalty. France moved top of Group D with 4 points ahead of Bosnia, who they face away on Wednesday, Ukraine and Finland. And that's it in the sports edition. Over to you, Mark.
Thanks very much, Deepika. And now let's get you news called Life Prime, news about art and culture. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the 12th of March had launched the Amrut Mahotsav on the occasion of the 75th year of India's independence, and on this occasion he flagged off the Dandi Yatra that traces the route from which Gandhiji took way back in 1930. This yatra has reached Bharuch's Mangrol, tracing the historic route. Gandhiji had started the Dandi Yatra on the 12th of March in 1930, and it went on to the 6th of April when he reached Dandi.
बापू जब यहाँ पे आए तो उन्होंने बोला कि हमारी लड़त तो शुरू हो चुकी है, मैं किसी भी वक्त गिरफ्तार हो सकता हूँ, पर ग्रामजनों ध्यान में रखना कि परदेसी चीज़ों का बहिष्कार करना, सिर्फ स्वदेशी चीज़ें ही यूज़ करना और हमारे हाथ से बना हुआ नमक का ही इस्तेमाल करना, ये संदेशा गांधी बापू ने ग्रामजनों को 27 मार्च को मांगरोल में दिया था।
हमारा फादर नरोत्तम भाई दाढ़ी बनावी थी गांधी बापू ने તે સમયે અંગ્રેજોની બહુ જુલમ હતો। આ ગામમાં જમવાનું ભોજન બનાવ્યું હતું એ સમયે તળી ધા કાઢીશ તે વખતે ગાંધી બાપુની દાઢી મારા વાળ દાઢી મારા ફાધરે બનાવેલી તે વખતે 5 એકર જમીન અંગ્રેજોએ લઈ લીધેલી।
And that's all we have for you in Midday Prime today. Thanks very much for watching. Namaskar.